Hello everyone, welcome back to another book review. I am on my floor today because my work has moved back to working remote, so my entire desk is taken up by a bunch of monitors and it wasn't very big to begin with. So I went over there to try to film a video and I was too cramped. So basically I decided that the floor was going to be a better spot. Also, I don't know about any of you guys, but I just kind of prefer sitting on the floor. I'm probably just weird. That would track. Anyways, today I am going to be reviewing Sacred Numbers, The Secret Qualities of Quantities by Miranda Lundy. Now this was filed in the math section of the library, but this is maybe math adjacent. This book focused on numbers and, well, not math adjacent. There was plenty of math information in this. It focused on qualities of certain numbers, particularly 1 through 10 and 0, so 0 through 9, I should say. And then also mystic or cultural significance assigned to the numbers. That being said, I don't want that second part, the mystic or cultural associations with numbers, to scare people off, because I think even if you have no interest in all of that, or you think all of it's kind of a little woo-woo, which is kind of where I stood on most of it, I think learning some of the actual mathematical qualities behind the numbers is still really interesting and worthwhile. And there was a lot of information about how the number system developed that I think is very worthwhile in this book. And this book is part of the series Small Books, Big Ideas, if I understood correctly, and I really enjoy these. They're very small, and the format for these books is each page, it's a one-page introduction to a topic at the top, and then there is a picture or something to go along with it. I'm trying to remember, I read another book on I've read a couple books in this series, and I just find them to be really, really good introductions to the topics at hand. Not too difficult, not too lengthy, or they don't get too in the weeds with all of this, but they keep it interesting and short, and it's the perfect size. I think these are the perfect introductions. I'm going to keep reading these books, and I'm going to keep recommending these books. So this, like I said, this book focuses on a number, and they talk about kind of the qualities of the number, like mathematically, are they triangular numbers? Is it the cube of this or this of that? But it also talks about kind of spiritual or mystical things that have been assigned to that particular number over the course of history. So it's kind of a good mix of like history and different spiritual traditions plus mathematics. And they all go into a page. So this is 2, or they call it duality. They talk about that. And the next one is going to be 3. They talk about it. Again, just one page, simple pictures, simple introductions. The picture that's across from the introduction for each topic is really pretty in these books. I really liked this. However, after reading all of this, I think the most interesting part, besides, so there's the one interesting part from the actual book portion was this, where they showed the oh good, the garbage truck is coming through. I hope my roommates put the trash out. This, which is the path Venus traces above Earth, which I didn't know this was a thing, and actually because this book is kind of like spiritual, I decided to double check the fact online, but that seemed to be correct. Venus traces this very interesting and very pretty path over Earth as it goes through its rotations, which, yeah, that was really, really cool. But besides these little introductions, I thought the best part was actually in the back. After we go through kind of the mystical or like the qualities of certain numbers, they go into some of the history. So this one, Babylonian, Sumer, and Egypt, they talk about the systems, and not just like the usual graph that you've seen, which is like, how did our number 1 develop from what it used to be to now? But they talk about how they did multiplication, or how they used here the Eye of Horus to explain fractions, and different systems like that. And they also go into using different bases for systems. For example, the Babylonians use a base 60, which is where we still get our minutes being 60 seconds and 60 minutes in an hour, which comes from that. But at the very back of the book, so then they do 0. They put 0 last, which I think was a very interesting style choice. I liked it. Then there are just these like index pages. This one is early number systems, and you can put them all next to each other. Next is place value number systems. Just tons of information, and not in like a boring info dump way, just really interesting stuff to look at. And I spent more time looking at these back pages than I did the actual introductions, which tracks because these are very small books. Their whole theme is small books, big ideas. So before we get to the, I'm gonna call them appendices for lack of a better word, it's only 47 pages to get through the actual content. I spent more time looking at these 4 pages in the back than I did the rest of the book, just because of how much information and how many cool facts are on these pages. So I would recommend, if you read this book, don't just get to the end and then skip all those indexes, which I usually do. I would say take a look, because I actually think that's the strongest part of this book. Other than that, I really enjoyed this book. Again, I don't want the mystical qualities of each number to scare people off. I think there's still a lot of good, interesting facts in here. I think there's a lot of interesting math topics to be discussed. I think the history of how our current numeral system came to be is very interesting. And so yeah, I highly recommend this book. I think it's a great introduction. It's not too difficult. Like I said, 47 pages without those additional appendices in the back. And I gave this a 4-star because I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, hopefully you are able to give this a read, or any of the other books in the series. Like I said, I think this series does a really good job with the introductions. And if you read it, please let me know what you think. Or if there are any other books in this vein, I would love to read a longer book, not just a short introduction, but a longer book about the history of numbers, like the numeral system and how it was used in different civilizations. I think that'd be really interesting. That's kind of what I'm on the hunt for. So I'll see if I can find a book like that. And if you know any of the books in that, if you know any books in that category, please let me know, because that is what I'm looking for. So yeah, hopefully everyone has a great day. Enjoy the summer or the winter if you're in the other half of the hemisphere, other half of the world, and have a great day.